Oh, yeah. Here we are, Patrick and the people, and not any people in the studio today. It's just me. Hold on. Let's see if we can make an adjustment here. Make this camera look different. Hold on a second here. Yeah, we'll go that way. Oh, yeah. That's much better. That's much better. What is going on, everybody? I hope that you're having a hell of a Thursday. Let's see who's in the house already. Hold on one second. I'm going to have to go solo. What's up, Brad? How you doing, man? Good morning to you. What's up, Tasha? Good morning, Tay. Tactical Turkey. What's up, Mistress Mayhem? Everybody's here already. Jim, what's going on, man? Today, everybody is out. Yeah, that's right. Andy said, oh, shit, he's solo. Yeah, no, we'll survive it. We will survive it today and get through it. I hope that everybody is having a good start to your day already. I know that I'm having a damn good start. I had a good day yesterday with real estate. It was a weird, wild day, but good. So that's a good thing. I'm happy about that. Let's just jump into a little bit of news that you can use because quite a few things to talk about already this morning. Let's go here. Members of the U.S. Senate unanimously approved authorizing Lulu's Law. Now, the bill, which is sponsored by an Alabama senator, is named after Lulu Gribben, 15, who suffered a severe shark attack last year in the Florida Panhandle. So they passed it in the Senate, and the new law directs the FCC to issue wireless emergency alerts whenever sharks are spotted on coastal waterways. So now the bill will go to House for a vote. So I guess, you might get a cell phone alert from the FCC if sharks are on the coast. But surprise, it's the ocean. And there are sharks. Yeah, no, I mean, that seems pretty common sense to me. Mattel is launching a Barbie with type 1 diabetes and a glucose monitor. They're expanding representation with the new doll, said it allows kids to see themselves in the doll while encouraging play that extends beyond a kid's own lived experience. They say they partnered with the nonprofit Breakthrough T1D to develop a new doll to ensure accurate reflection of the devices. The Barbie Fashionista doll with type 1 diabetes is available at Walmart and Amazon for about $11. That's interesting. I think that's a good way probably to help, kids with diabetes learn more about that. Brad said, I need a diabetic Ken. Yeah, no, you just take care of yourself there. But that is interesting. I don't know if they have diabetic Ken or maybe diabetic G.I. Joe, maybe a diabetic Transformer. I don't know. What else is going on here? Tampa International Airport having a little fun after the TSA announced passengers can keep their shoes on going through security. TSA took to social media Tuesday to announce this. A footnote at the bottom of the post stated, unless you're wearing Crocs, you should take those off and throw them away. So, yeah, that's pretty funny. Followers quick to comment saying things like, Crocs where a person's dignity seeps out through the holes. How many of you guys wear Crocs out there? I know they're very popular. I don't love them, but I know a lot of people do. A lot of medical professionals wear them. I guess maybe they're very comfortable. I'm not sure. I've just never put them on. What's up, little doggy? Let's see. Pope Leo once again offering to host peace talks between Russia and Ukraine at the Vatican. He met with Vladimir Zelensky yesterday. The Vatican said that he and the Ukrainian leader discussed the importance of dialogue as the preferred means of ending hostilities. Yeah, I'm about tired of all that. About tired of Zelensky. He doesn't want to let go of power. He's just power hungry, man. The guy does not want to let go of power, and that's really what I think a lot of the problem is here, and it may require him being removed from power. Let's see what else is going on here. Walton Goggins, he's everything right now. He is everything. The White Lotus star has been inked to lend a voice to the animated Harry and the Mutant Mid-Century Furniture. It's some kind of... the story centers on 10-year-old Harry, who teams up with talking furniture, the result of atomic testing in 1962. So I assume it's going to be maybe a animated funny movie or something like that. Diddy scored a legal victory in a civil lawsuit. He's waiting for sentencing for his federal conviction, but TMZ said a judge decided to remove significant allegations of rape from a lawsuit filed on behalf of April Lampros. She had accused Combs of assaulting her multiple times in the 90s. His attorneys denied the claims and motioned to dismiss the lawsuit. Let's see. It says, hey, dudes aren't as comfy as people hype them up to be. They give me a blister. I don't know. Oh, Crocs aren't. Not dudes aren't as comfy. Crocs aren't. Or hey, dude shoes, I guess. A Key West, Florida man. Oh, we talked about that yesterday, so I'm going to skip that. No, that's too much. Here you go. 6 U.S. Secret Service agents were suspended without pay for 10 to 42 days after an internal review found serious failures during the assassination attempt of President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. The suspensions confirmed just days before the attack's first anniversary include supervisors and line agents assigned to counter sniper and site advance roles. An independent report last fall said they spotted the shooter 20 minutes before shots were fired and never flagged local police or evacuated the stage. Families of Butler victims welcomed the suspensions but urged bigger cultural change inside the service. The Secret Service hasn't released their names, but pledged to brief Congress on the lessons learned. I'm sure they will. All right, let's see. Okay. The Trump administration announced a big change yesterday that might help people buy a home. Hey, this could be good, right? Starting now, rent payments can count toward getting a mortgage. Bill Pulte, the head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, said this is huge because credit history won't just include credit cards and loans. So the change works by letting lenders use a new credit score model called Vantage Score 4.0 instead of the old FICO system. Now, this new model counts rent and utility payments when figuring out your credit score. Mortgages sold to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac can now use the system. The new rule could make it easier for first-time buyers to get loans, especially renters who pay their bills on time but don't have a lot of credit history. That really could be a very good thing. But, of course, if you've got your utilities set up in your kid's name, it's not going to help you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. No, that's really great. That's a huge change to the credit market if that can go, industry wide. That would be a massive game changer, depending on, of course, how they score your rent and utility payments. But of course, and then you have to get everybody to report that. That's going to be the next thing. But that is an amazing opportunity, maybe for some new buyers out there, maybe older buyers too. I mean, I don't guess it matters if it's all counting towards your positive credit. That's great. Not a shock. Dr. Kevin O'Connor, he was former President Biden's doctor, the White House physician. He appeared for closed-door testimony before the House Oversight Committee yesterday, but he decided to plead the Fifth Amendment, not to discuss Biden's health circumstances. The chair, James Comer, called it the refusal unprecedented and vowed to keep probing whether aides had signs of Biden's decline. Come on, everybody had signs of his decline, man. You had to be Ray Charles not to see signs of his decline. Matter of fact, I'm not certain Ray wouldn't have seen it. Measles cases continue to go up where people are unvaccinated, not necessarily shocking. Okay, OpenAI is getting ready to launch its own web browser that's going to compete with Google Chrome. The plans to release this AI-powered browser in the coming weeks, according to 3 people who know about it. The browser is going to use AI to change how people browse the web. Instead of just clicking through websites, users will be able to chat with the browser like they do ChatGPT. It can also do tasks like book reservations, fill out forms on websites. That's what you want to do. Make sure to give AI your personal information so they can fill out things on websites for you. That's super smart idea. Yeah, give it your social security number and your date of birth and all your credit information. Go ahead and do that. Uh, the move puts OpenAI in direct competition with Google, which controls 2/3 of the browser market with Chrome. Wow, 2/3. That's pretty wild. I remember when AOL was probably controlling about 100% of browsing. What a pain in the ass that was. They would just randomly send you disc in the mail to try to get you to use AOL, and God forbid you did, because that computer would have to be thrown away when you were done. Tasha Mack said, wait, you can get measles if not vaccinated? I had no idea. Right? Right? Shocking, huh? Yes, you can. You can get a lot of things if you don't have the right vaccinations. Of course, we are asking some new questions about some of the vaccinations, right? Said, I got to point out that Rich Rockwell's one hell of a sidekick, not even in the state, and he shows up. Did Rich show up? What's up, Rich? And now this is a little overdue, I think. After a decade-long fight, Flint, Michigan has finally finished replacing 11,000 lead pipes that contaminated the city's water supply. You might remember that crisis started in 2014 when lead-contaminated drinking water was found leaking from aging pipes into the homes citywide. The crisis started when a state-appointed emergency manager switched the water supply to the Flint River without proper treatment to prevent corrosion. Now, lead exposure, of course, there's none of it safe. It's terrible. It can cause brain damage, heart problems. So a lot of people filed a lawsuit against Flint and Michigan state officials. That led to the 2017 settlement, which required the city to replace all the lead pipes absolutely free, conduct water testing, and provide health programs for residents. So on July 1st, Michigan submitted a report confirming that more than 8 years after the settlement, 11,000 lead pipes have been replaced and over 28,000 properties restored. The remaining 4,200 buildings with lead pipes were either vacant, abandoned, or owned by people who declined the free replacement. Let's see. What's up, Rich? How's it go, man? How was last night? Was it awesome, bro? Hope it was, man. Hope you guys had a great time. Hope your mom and your brother had a great time. The Goo Goo Dolls are going to headline the 39th annual Carousel Ball October 11th at the Hyatt Regency in Denver. It's a fundraiser for diabetes, but they're also honoring Neil Diamond with a Lifetime Achievement Award. So, in essence, the Goo Goo Dolls are opening for Neil Diamond, so to speak. Band members Johnny Resnick and Robbie Takic, however he says it, shared their excitement, saying they're honored to be part of the special night. $10 says they play Sweet Caroline. Generally, retirement happens. Oh, no, I'm going to save that for a little later. It's a pretty good story. A new study out of Ohio State University, that's the Ohio State University, says 9% of people in their 30s are using booze or drugs on the job. Shocking. Yeah, I assume 10% of people everywhere on drugs or booze at any given time, at work, at home, in the parking lot, at the store. Shit, 10% of people are anything you want them to be. But it says that's mainly true in, quote, blue-collar or heavy mechanical jobs because those people often have limited access to support to deal with substance abuse. Specifically, the study found the jobs with the highest risk of having workers drinking or drugging on the job are in the food preparation service industry and construction. Yes, again, very shocking news to find out. You're going to tell me that people working in food industry or construction might be drinking or smoking or doing some kind of drugs. No, it's definitely shocking news, right? No. A 27-year-old woman in Jilin, China, is now in the find out phase of her skincare routine. The woman said she's never fully washed off her makeup in 22 years. Now her face is paying the price. She's said she started wearing cosmetics at 15, but skipped cleansing because I'll just put it back on tomorrow. That worked until about early this year, when apparently her skin erupted in a severe rash that swelled, turned purple, and itched like ants were on it. She followed up with another bad decision. Instead of seeing a dermatologist, she tried a cosmetic skin booster injection that made it worse. Doctors who reviewed her video warned that failing to clean your clogs or your pores that are clogged up can cause this. They also suspected factors like cheap makeup. Yeah, and that's going to do it. Turkey said, Patrick paid me yesterday. It's an official hit now. That's right, Rich Rockwell. He said, shut up, Patrick. I'm in enemy territory still, LOL. 5 people in the hotel lobby just cheered when you said the Ohio State, blah, blah, blah. That's right, the Ohio State, baby. You know what I'm talking about. That one. The one that's a national champion. You know the one, Rich, right? National champions ran the gauntlet for the first time, the full-length playoffs. Yeah, it's that Ohio State. Anyway, sorry, I digress. College professors are using AI to grade papers written for students by AI. AI use causing new problems on college campuses. This time the professors are getting in trouble. A study found 92% of students now use AI in some way, up from 66% last year. Some professors have given up trying to read papers carefully and are using AI to grade them. As one professor put it, it's become bots talking to bots. Yeah, no, that's not shocking either. I mean, listen, if I'd had AI back in the day, you think I wouldn't have used it? Hell yeah, I would have used it. Why wouldn't you? Rich said, damn it, I'm going to die here. You might. Yeah. Keep your Michigan love to yourself. Let's see. A woman from St. Louis. Hold on, what is? Yeah, she caused a major crash in Pennsylvania when she rear-ended a pickup truck at 100 miles an hour. Trista Lawson admitted to police she was going that fast when she hit the truck on West College Avenue. That sent the pickup truck crashing into a smoke shop while her gray Mazda ended up in somebody's front yard. When police asked her about the crash, she said she was, quote, listening to the voice of God. The pickup truck driver had minor injuries. Police say she damaged other vehicles before the main crash, and they're looking for witnesses. She was arrested and being held on quite a bit of charges, including, guess what? Yeah, it wasn't God talking to her. You know what it was? It was the meth. That's right. The meth was talking to her. Sometimes it seems like God, doesn't it? It's not. Yeah, don't listen to that voice. It's not a good one. That's the wrong voice. Here you go. This person may have been listening to the wrong voice as well. A 48-year-old man in Japan arrested for walking around naked now says he regrets it. Well, I can't imagine. The police were called last week to report a naked man walking through their neighborhood. By the time officers got there, he had moved to a local shrine where they found him still with no clothing on. He was arrested, of course, for public indecency. This is at 10:40 in the morning, okay? The man who lives in the same town. Who's naked at 10:40 in the morning walking around? You got to be on something real good at 10:40. I mean, listen, if I'm a drug guy, I don't even want to be up at 10:40 in the morning. I'm trying to sleep till 1. Then I'll get up and go out naked if I need to. But not at 10:40 in the morning. Hell no, that's way too early. So the man who lives in the same town where he was arrested admitted to the charges, told police, I shouldn't have gone out naked. You think? That's probably a bad idea. They're still trying to figure out why he did it. Some people joking online, maybe it was the hot weather or maybe he's a Terminator. Yeah, I'm going to say that's not the case at all. I might check and see if he had something in his console as well. Let's get to a little bit of sports here that you might give a damn about. With NFL training camp on the horizon, ESPN reached out to executives, coaches, and scouts around the league to find out how the best players ranked at each position. Each participant was asked to rank their own personal top 10, and those lists were compared and combined to flesh out a final ranking. So what are we ranking here? Hold on. Reach out, find out the best players. Okay, so Myles Garrett, Watt, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, Nick Bosa, Trey Hendrickson, Aiden Hutchinson, Will Anderson Jr., Daniel Hunter, and Jared Verse in that order. A golf cart girl has taken to TikTok to call out men on the course for their beverage scammery. In her post, Morgan Middendorf says the cart girls trolling around the course selling golfers beer know what's really going on when they take their microfiber towels over their cups and cup holders. Madden seemed to be implying that golfers are bringing their own booze to the golf course and hiding it to avoid getting caught. That's understandable. A single beer is about $4, $7, sometimes more, and that gets pricey over 18 holes, right? Also understandable that Middendorf would have an issue considering she's working for tips. Yeah, but I get it. It's just like going to the theater. If you can smuggle in the candy, why wouldn't you? I mean, come on, man. Wouldn't you? I mean, I did. I have many times. I would probably not today, but I used to do it a lot. This is kind of interesting. Good sportsmanship doesn't include ancient curses on your opponents, apparently. China League 2 thought they'd gain an edge by slipping yellow Taoist talismans in the visitors' locker room before June 28th match. The paper charms were scrawled with lines such as, by decree, Shanghai Shangdai Runghai must be defeated. It was meant to summon bad luck for the other team. Photos of the charm spread quickly online, and league officials launched a probe. This week, the Chinese Professional Football League fined them about $4,100 for resorting to feudal superstition items, vowing tough penalties for any future breaches of discipline. So don't put your paper talismans in the locker because that's scary. It says, Rich, have you made enough cash for a BBL yet? I heard something yesterday, and listen, I'm not someone who reads up on BBLs, but Laura and I were having a conversation, and apparently there's a phenomena where women who get BBLs, maybe anybody who gets them, but particularly she was talking about women, that apparently there's a big issue where they emanate a really foul odor, that a lot of women are having them undone because of that. Not sure what causes that. I don't know if it's, material in it. I don't know exactly what the cause of that is, but they say that those BBLs have a really funky ass smell. I don't know, man. I don't know, but yeah, I think they look ridiculous. I'll tell you that. I saw Jenna Jameson in person down at the River Market many years ago. I was hosting an event that she was at, and she came out, and Laura and I were talking to her, and she turned sideways, and when I tell you that it looked like this, I mean, it was cartoon-esque. It looked like she could fall over, like it was too much weight, but they look ridiculous in person, honestly. Maybe they look good when you're twerking. I don't know, but they look crazy. Tactical Turkey said, bigger butt, bigger stank. I don't know. Maybe. They say there's something about I guess whatever they inject into it or use to make it do that does it. I don't know, man, but I don't want any part of that. That ain't for me. So here you go. Check this out. Let's get started. If you're looking for a vehicle, you know where to go. Fitz Auto is the place to go. Now, you can go online at fitzauto.com, or you can go in person, 8421 Stagecoach Road in Little Rock. What makes them different? What makes them special? Well, they work with you regardless of your credit history because they're their own bank. They don't have to ask anybody else. It's up to them who they work with. And they have late model, low mileage vehicles. They're going to save you money. They're going to put you in something you can be proud of. And it doesn't matter, sports car, truck, SUV, boat, RV, camper, amphibious units. They've got motorcycles, anything you could possibly want on wheels and an engine. They've got it there for you. Check them out, fitzauto.com. Start there, in there. It's where you're going to go because it's the best deal.
Mayday, Mayday, we are trapped in the swells, too many. Enough voices to fill an ocean, but I hear you calling my name. In a blender of nothing but emotion, but I feel you the same. In the hours and days before, you traveled on quiet seas. The crashing waves are hard to ignore, but just keep holding me. the continent, and sand your feet can no longer plow, as heavy as cement. If your throat past bone dry 770 miles ago, just trust in me and I will make sure the water flows. You find yourself drowning in the middle of the moment. No matter your surroundings, don't let yourself get bent. I know all that came before. Every one of them let you down. I'll be the hero you're looking for, no matter how high the waves pound. Able and willing, when I reach up, going past the ceiling, I see all the double dealing, but all the facade always peeling. This day there would be no kneeling. We'll hit 'em so hard they'll damn sure be reeling. The enemy's tomb, yeah, that's what we're sealing. On any calendar, any day, any month, any year, whatever heel comes your way, I'm 2 feet down and never met fear. No one and nothing stands in our way. You find yourself drowning in the middle of the moment. No matter your surroundings, don't let yourself get bent. I know all that came before. Every one of them let you down. I'll be the hero you're looking for, no matter how high the waves pound.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Yeah, baby, it is Friday Eve around here at Patrick and the People. Don't forget, man, if you're not following us on YouTube, please do, and tell everybody else if you don't mind. Maybe you just tell one person a day. There's still a lot of people out there who haven't figured out yet that I've got a show again, so be a great help if you just let them know. Just tell them, hey, did you know he's back? And, get them linked up and hooked up into us. So let's talk about this story. This is, a lot of you might be, maybe you're still planning a vacation. Maybe you haven't gone on vacation yet this year. Maybe there's still time to take advantage of this. I don't know. But if not, you can damn sure start planning for next year. I know if I'm going to do a vacation, I have to plan pretty far ahead. A, because I don't have a lot of extra money. But B, it's just good to plan ahead. And especially if you're going to do something exciting like this. Sex parties. Yep. Sex parties are coming to an ocean near you. That's right. Killing Kittens. That's a kink positive event company. Have you ever heard of that? A kink positive event company. So it's an event company to promote positive kinkness. That's pretty great. They're launching a very risque cruise, promising a pretty pleasurable holiday for couples and singles alike. Latasha said, is it wrong if I promote PATP on the Edge Facebook page? It'd be wrong if you didn't. How about that? It'd be wrong if you didn't. I wish everybody would. I tried to go over there not long ago, and I thought maybe I would hijack a post and, put something in some comments, but to be honest with you, I couldn't find anything that had comments on it. That's wrong. I apologize for that. It was out of character, and that was wrong. Tasha said I wouldn't do it, though. No, it'd be great. It'd be fantastic if you did. I think it'd be awesome. Ask Kevin to join us live watching. That's wrong. I apologize to him and everyone for that. Never mind. All right, so back to this sex cruise. At a glance, you might mistake it for a luxury all-inclusive trip with the itinerary departing from Barcelona to Monte Carlo before going on to Florence and Portofino. That sounds pretty nice. Pretty nice. But the cruise, certainly one of a kind, hosting the Killing Kittens events, including a popular white party, a masked ball, the Creatures of the Night Primal Soiree. Oh, that sounds good. The latex-themed Dominion. Latex theme. Hope you don't have an allergy. And Hedonism, the longest running Killing Kittens event. Tasha said, challenge accepted. That's right. Go get them. You go get them. But just because you can let loose in one of the playrooms doesn't mean you can get lawless at sea. In fact, the Killing Kittens cruise has some very strict rules. That's right. If you're going to go on a Bangfest cruise, you have to have some guidelines and rules. You just can't, hang out with your wang out, so to speak, nonstop. Brandon said, imagine booking that cruise and not knowing. I suspect you'd know clearly well on that cruise, but it would be funny and odd. So the first thing it says, the 3 core values, because a sex cruise can have core values because it's 2025, right? If you're lucky enough to get a cabin on board, you must comply with the 3 core values of Killing Kittens. That would be privacy, confidentiality, and discretion. Yeah, you don't see nothing, say nothing, hear nothing, right? Mistress Mayhem said, it ain't wrong. I listened to you on there for close to 20 years, stopped the day you left. Been listening to PATP since episode 1. Well, thank you very much for that, Mistress Mayhem, 1989. I appreciate that. By the way, I assume 89 might be the year you were born, which makes me feel a type of way because I graduated high school in 1988. So you go do the math on that shit. But yes, thank you very much for listening. I appreciate that. It really was when I went over there. I really, no jokes. I was going to go over there and just, say, hey, I'm here. And there was nowhere to say it. And there was just nothing going on. But hey, FAFO, they found out. Killing Kittens was born out of a desire to, no solo men in playrooms. You see, this is what it says, no solo men in the playrooms. It says Killing Kittens was born out of a desire to celebrate female pleasure. Therefore, the safety of women is paramount. So the founder, her golden rule is no solo men in playrooms. In fact, single men won't be going on this cruise at all. It's for solo women or women and their partners only. I do like that. I do like that a lot. No solo dudes running around trying to slide in, get a little action, but lots of, single chicks that could, jump in the action. That sounds all right. Latasha said, I was born in 1989 too. That's great. Brandon said, do you get complimentary lube and condoms in your room? Yes. Yeah, you get a bouquet of condoms and lube, I would imagine, in your room. And then you know how if you go on a cruise, they make animals and things out of your towels that they leave on the bed? Yeah, they use other things to make those animals. They make kind of a balloon animal, if you would, if you get my point. Yeah, just got a little reservoir tip. Never mind. Anyway, so no single dudes in there. So it's about consent, and everything is based on respect and being a decent human being. Yeah, you're just banging everybody, but you're still a decent human being. That's fair. You have to sign consent and attendance forms too once on board. Unlike the parties hosted on land, you won't actually need to be a member to go. You just have to abide by the club rules. So if it's on land, you have to be a member of this sex club. But if you're going on the cruise, well, come on. Dress codes. Going on a sex cruise doesn't just mean you can get your, it says tits and bits out. It's a much classier affair. What a great line. In fact, Emma says there are specific clothing optional areas on board if you just want to roll, hang out with your wang out and whatnot. That's not all when it comes to party events. You'll need to come prepared. You'll need to adhere to the dress code depending on the theme of the night. The white party is self-explanatory, right? It's all white. The masked ball is black tie and ball gown with mask. Creatures of the night is woodland, goddesses, and nymphs. So I guess you're playing dress up. Hedonism is a beach club wear in that day and in the night. Dominion is latex and leather. You'll need quite the collection of outfits if you're going to embrace every theme night. Let's see. Tasha said, honestly, glad Patrick never went back. Otherwise, I never would have found this amazing community and made some super effing cool friends. Thank you, Patrick, for believing in yourself like we do. That's awesome. That is cool. That, to me, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, that's always been the best thing about doing that show, and it's certainly the best thing about doing this show. That was the one absolute when I decided to launch this program, is that I had to have as much or more connectivity with you guys as I did there. And I feel like, that I have more here. I like the connectivity here, and Tasha's right. It is a tribe for the tribeless. And if you get into our community and in the chat, you'll find out. I mean, it's growing every day. I see new people starting to come in every day. And I know there's, a little doggy, Mike Woodall, just told me that Kendall Wright, who longtime friend of both of ours, but he may have known Mike as long as I have or even longer. I'm not sure yet. But Kendall Wright apparently watches every day. And I don't see him in chat. And, sometimes people don't show up in the chat. But if you can, it's cool to see you in there. So if nothing else, we can acknowledge you. So it is awesome. Thank you, Turkey Tactical. So that's right, Mac. We wouldn't have all of this excitement, So back to our sex cruise. It says, if you feel like this is right up your alley, I'm not sure that's the phrase they wanted to use, but here's a little more info on the cruise itself, which sets sail next year on June 9th. It's a 6-night extravaganza, but fair warning, it's not cheap. Prices start at about $7,000 for an interior room. Well, yeah, you're not going to go on a sex cruise for $399. I'll tell you that. Oh, hell no. You're not going to go out there and get to see the, quote, tits and bits for $500. Oh, no, you got to pay to play that. You got to pay. Of course, it's all inclusive now. So you don't have to pay for food or drinks while you're there. And many of the experiences outside the parties are included too, although some will incur an additional fee. That includes cooking classes, wine and whiskey tasting, sunrise yoga, and the morning run club. The morning run club. Are they clothed or not clothed? Sex workshops, self-expression and sensory play, and even a filthy trivia night. Wow. Nothing like being dirty and nerdy at the same time. That sounds like a band, Dirty and Nerdy. Let's see. A particular highlight for swinging couples could be the couple speed dating. Man, this just sounds like a party on the water. I'm going to be honest with you. I would be very concerned about anywhere I sat, anywhere I put my hand, or any of that. It sounds like there could be a lot of stuff around. I don't know. Makes me a little nervous, that many people hooking up, But hey, if that's your bag, so to speak, jump in. Turkey said, what's your address? I'll get tickets for the cruise mailed to your home. Don't forget your latex. That's Tasha telling Turkey she's going to send him cruise tickets. Brandon said it's international waters. He said, Brandon said, I heard it's always been Patrick's dream to have his own show. I guess, so to speak. I mean, yeah. I think anybody who ever does, what I do, it is their dream to do something like that. So yeah, this has always been probably the greatest joy, outside of my wife and my children, the greatest joy of my life. But it's not just because I get to run my mouth. It's really about the interaction. It's the give and take between us that makes it what it is to me. It's the connection. That's always been the greatest joy of doing this, is connecting with people. I just love people in general. Most of the time. Sometimes I don't. Tactical knows what I mean. Sometimes I don't love people. Sometimes I don't like them at all. But most of the time, I love people. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? I think I had one more thing that kind of lined up with that. Yeah, here it is. So let's say that maybe, the cruise is a little out of reach for you, or, maybe you're a little bit shyer and you don't want to be, buck naked or, have your bits out in front of other people, or at least that many people. Maybe, let's say you're someone instead who just likes to, do a little dirty FaceTime with your significant other, right? Nothing wrong with that. This lighting is low. The expectation is high. Your partner starts unbuttoning their shirt. Sounds good so far, right? You're like, yeah, no, this is going to be a good afternoon right here. Suddenly, you see the FaceTime video freeze and a black message fills the screen. Audio and video are paused because you may be showing something sensitive, your phone informs you. If you feel uncomfortable, you should end the call. That's kind of a buzzkill, really, isn't it? But this could be what awaits iPhone users in the next software update, which is reported to include that as a security feature. Brandon said, you're the first to give me a shot without experience. Well, man, you have the heart of a champion, Brandon. You're a lion, man. Of course I gave you a shot at it. You're a great person. Why wouldn't I give you a shot at it? You're a really good person. There's no reason not to. He said, Turkey said, and it shows, Brandon, when you don't show up and hit the go button. You screw yourself, Andy. He's talking about the 2-hour show to nowhere and no one. I still feel bad to Julio Gonzalez and Jay Sorsby for that. 2-hour show. And our guest, who had just won the Country Music Award. Best album, all kinds of stuff. They're coming back, thank God. But I was just embarrassed about that altogether. You invite two people up to fill in who are your longtime friends. And, they're like, yeah, I can miss work. I'll use some PTO or whatever. And then you have a great guest, award-winning guest, and you broadcast the show to no one. Nobody. Yeah, no, that was a tough moment. But we survived it, and it's what makes it good, All right, so this feature was first spotted by iDevice Help, who wrote, in iOS 26 FaceTime, will pause the video if you're undressing while on a FaceTime call. Here's the screen prompt warning that you get asking if you want to resume the video or end the call. My question is, how many people are accidentally FaceTiming without clothing? Has that ever happened to anybody out there listening right now? Brandon said we had a 5-hour show the other day. Well, no, we probably had a 3-hour show with 2 hours of just extra runtime of nothing. That happens sometimes, It's not clear if this is intended only for accounts used by kids, if it's going to be rolled out to everyone. I assume it's going to be rolled out to everyone. The developer version is reportedly showing this to any users who strip off even well into middle age. Little doggy said, Sorsby's a legend. What a disaster. You're damn right. You're damn right it was. It was a disaster for sure. If you go to settings for FaceTime, there's an option to toggle sensitive content warning on or off. If it's off by default, it may not actually come to everyone's phones, or at least you'll have an option to turn it off. Apple hasn't commented on it yet. The next question is, does this mean Apple is spying on my sexy phone calls? Well, I mean, I assume they're spying on everything, don't you? But it says not quite. Images are analyzed locally on the phone with nothing transmitted to Apple servers. According to the company, communication safety uses on-device machine learning. In other words, AI built into your phone that's doing its own thing. And you're going to tell me it's not possibly transmitted back? I don't know about that. But the safety on-device machine learning analyzes photos and video attachments to determine if it appears to contain nudity. Here's the thing. I kind of feel bad when their nudes get out. But then I kind of don't. Because I'm like, if you send them to somebody, there's about 1,000,000,000% chance that somebody's going to see it you don't want to. Whether it's because the person you sent it to shows it, whether it's because your phone gets hacked into, whatever it is, if you send those, it's going to be a problem for you at some point in your life, 99% of the time. Now, maybe you're lucky enough to be with a significant other who's never going to share it. You're never going to break up. It's never going to be a problem. But you do have to think about the possibility that those things can happen in the future. And if you got that out there, man, I knew somebody who was had gone through a divorce and was fighting to get back some bourgeois photos that they did for their significant other, like a professional photo shoot that was risque, but they had a pro come in. It was, like the difference between Playboy and Hustler, right? You know what I'm saying? It was a tasteful type bourgeois photo shoot with a little bit of nude in it. And they fought to get it back. And they did get it back, luckily. But it doesn't happen for everybody that way. Sometimes that's why they call it, revenge porn, when, maybe someone's mad at you, break up with you, and then they just put your stuff out there. Brandon said, I never share the ones I get. No, you're a smart guy. Don't share them. Matter of fact, everybody send Brandon a nude right now. Andy, can you send Brandon a nude right now? That'd be great. Send him a little turkey nude. Not you, the turkeys, actually. Who doesn't send those? I'm probably on Google Images, TBH, Tactical Turkey said. Brad said, I got some nudes I could share with y'all if you'd like. See, nobody wants to see those. Nobody wants to see us guys that way. We were just having a conversation about D-pics at home because somebody that my wife and I both know very well has a collection of these. Like, I don't know how that even happens. It's like Pokemon. She's got to catch them all. And she doesn't just catch them, she keeps them on her phone. I don't even know. I've never looked at them. My wife told me about them, but I'm like, does she ID them? Do they still have names attached to them? I mean, are they just random? Can she look at them and go, I remember that one. I see that scar. I don't know what that is. When I say some, I mean a lot. Like, I guess, I don't know if there's a hotline out there you can call to go, hey, who wants dick pics? She said some of them just come unsolicited. But I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm sure some of them do. But to your phone? Maybe, maybe not. Let me ask, ladies, have you ever gotten on your phone an unsolicited D-pic? Not your email, not your Facebook inbox, just by text. Have you ever randomly just gotten a text and it was somebody's Johnson meat right there taking up the camera for you, that you had no idea where it came from, or it was just, random, or maybe it was somebody you knew from the past that just out of the blue said, here's a picture of my junk. Look at my yam bag. I shored it for you. Yeah, that's right, Brandon. Nobody wants to see that acorn stuck in your pubes. I remember somebody sent Laura a nude and Patrick sent back a pic of his face. That's true, Turkey. That's true. We were sitting at home in front of the computer doing something. And we were on Facebook. I think we were getting ready to promote a show. And Laura clicked on an inbox, and lo and behold, there was a dude buck naked and doing the deed to himself. He was solo performing. And she goes, "Oh, I'm going to delete it." I said, hold on a second. I said, "This guy's playing the law of averages. He's playing a numbers game. You know, so if you're just going to randomly send it, I guess you hope that somebody's going to respond, although I don't know that the somebody who does is anybody I'd want to meet." But I knew he was excited to get a response from anybody. So I clicked on the reply. So the little dots, you know, they go dot, 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 dot. It shows that you're responding. And I know that dude was sitting there so excited, like, finally, yeah, this one's going to be the one. And this chick looks hot. I'm ready, you know. And what he got was a picture of me doing this. Yeah, finish the job now, punk. Anyway, all right. We'll be back in just a minute. And by we, I mean me. You know, a lot of times you might not hear cool and attorney in the same line, but when I'm talking about Riggin Law, you will, because Kristen Riggin and her crew are just cool people. You know, going to an attorney can be intimidating, and you feel like you're being talked down to. They're talking in legalese, and it's scary. Not with Kristen. She's going to break it down to you just like I would, sit there and talk to you, kind of work it out and figure it out in the fair and right way. Doesn't matter if it's divorce or custody or if it's elder law. They do a lot of stuff to help out with you know, court situations where you may have a family member who's died and you've got something going into probate. Man, you don't want to argue with your siblings over that. Don't put yourself in that position. That's what Riggin Law does. They'll help you work through the probate and all of that. If you've got a custody issue, even a criminal issue, it doesn't matter. Kristen can help you. And man, they are an amazing group of people. You can give them a call, 249-1289. It's 249-1289. Or just go to rigginlaw.com and tell Kristen we sent you.
What up? PATP up in 2025. Let's go. P-A-T to the mother-loving P. We talking about Patrick is in the myth, the legend, the angry. Hell yeah, he got a click, got a sick click, got a thick click, cause it's mother-loving Patrick and the people. Yeah, it's the sequel, better than a prequel. It's still the same DNA, and we all know Turkey don't play. I'm talking tactical, that's Andy, and on the medical, you got Tasha Mack. Yeah, her and Tom, they got your back. And Lil Doggy, of course, he's in the pack. Big chain, but even bigger attack. He's a printer, not a baker. But you know who's cooking? It's Luke Shoemaker, bonafide rock star, and he's going far, but not like Wendy. She crossing the whole damn country, rolling in a big truck, and no, she don't give a ride to strangers. What about them Rangers? Not Texas, but the U.S. Army. Yeah, he's kinda smarmy. It's Orton, comma Matthew. You see Bigfoot, he's gonna call you. Yeah, bitches, it's Patrick and the people. Yeah, it's the sequel, but better than the prequel. Call Sean Skelton Mr. Twix, cause he always in the mix. And who gotta get their fix of PATP? It's Crystal, aka Justin's baby. Rolling on two wheels is Jay Sorsby. He's the motorcycle mafioso. And if you don't know Brad Elkins, well, what the hell can? Does he got Jordans? For show. And shout out to Death Metal Disco. That's Darren Riggin, no kin to Kristen. As I'm Riggin Law, I did that, y'all. That's embedding in the SC. But got my ride in Pulaski. You know her, just say it fits. Auto only place to go, buy their pay there. But this is where I mentioned Joey, also known as Deer Digger. Oh shit, that rhymes with bigger. Make a ditch and you might be a digger. Am I on the line? Shit, go figure. Yeah, go figure. Yeah, bitches, it's Patrick and the people. Yeah, it's the sequel, better than the prequel. How about those bonus holes? Chad knows he is the sledge in the chair, but check the chat, Kristen's there blowing up his game. And then you got Jamie, the better half of Bundy. He's steady like a Sunday, electricity is his mission. And all y'all wishing you could be rich as a Rockwell ring. The big bell, he's got a story to tell, and rocking the cameras like a pro. Brandon's on a roll, put it in reverse, Brando. But who has your six? Your boy Gunner always got the tech fix, but he ain't out here swinging dongles. That would be wrong, oh. Just like this rap, put an end to this crap. PATP, get in, you'll see. Best show in the country, cause it's Patrick and the people. Yeah, it's the sequel, better than a prequel. Lay.
All right, we are back. Sorry, I just cut that song off right there, didn't I? I should have faded it. That's my bad. What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick and the people. The people are all digital today. Rich is out, and, well, everybody's out right now. So it's just that kind of week. Chad's gone. He's on vacation right now. They are out there enjoying the cruise, I believe is what they're doing. And then you got Rich, you know, he's the big announcer guy now all over the country. They fly him in, put him up in top-notch hotels, and, you know, he announces the little people wrestling and whatnot. So Brandon said no ads today. Well, we've run a couple ads today, Brandon. We'll run a couple more. I'm just not running a ton of them or anything. I could, I guess, if you want me to. What do you guys want to talk about? Throw me some I've got plenty actually here to talk about, but sometimes I get tired of reading. Throw me some questions. Do and ask me almost anything, not anything, almost anything. And maybe we'll talk about it. I don't know. Throw some stuff up there and let's see what you got on your mind. What are you interested in talking about? What are you interested in knowing today? We kind of talked a little bit about the former station earlier. Boats and Hoes. Yeah, that's right, Brandon. Boats and Hoes. Step Brothers, the greatest all-time comedy movie, in my humble opinion. It is my all-time favorite without question, not even close. I do love Happy Gilmore a lot as well, but Step Brothers is number one. Tell a story about the old life of Patrick. Okay. All right, we can definitely do that. The old life of Patrick. Let's see, where would be a good one to talk about? A story from my old life. Let's see. Here's a dumbass story. This is just a very short thing, but it's not a good story, really, to be honest with you. But when I lived in Southwest Little Rock, I was in my 20s, very young. I was probably 20, 21. And I lived at Whisperwood Apartments. And so if you know where that is, it's probably about 2 blocks past the Walmart at Baseline Road and the interstate. And I was in an apartment at the very back of the building. And so there was a neighborhood behind it. And for some reason, there's somebody had a rooster back there, and every damn morning at about 4:35, that rooster would start in. Well, I didn't get up at 4:35, and that rooster would start crowing and never stop, and it was really, really annoying. Yes, Rich, news on the Mario Kart tournament. Talk about that in a second. Anyway. So this rooster would crow, and, you know, I would open the window, I would yell at it, I would do anything I could to get it to stop, and it wouldn't. So I went and bought a BB rifle. Yep. And I would set my alarm for about 3 days at 4:15. And then I would scope it and just wait. And as soon as his beak began to open, pop, I'd pop him every time. Until he stopped. Took about 3 days. I'm sure they wondered why their rooster quit crowing. But he learned every time his beak opened to crow, he was going to get pelted. That's a terrible story. I'm sorry. But I needed the sleep. Mistress Mayhem said, when's Laura coming in? She cracks me up. Well, you know what? She'll be in probably more often. She just got her real estate license. She's really been working hard. A lot of people, I don't think, realize that the challenge when you start that career, a real estate career, because first thing you have to do is you have to pass a pretty significant test. I mean, there's 2 components of it. There's a national test and a state test. The national test is 100 questions, and it's over all these laws, rules, regulations. It's very, uh, it's like a history class or, a law class, something like. It's very, 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 very memorization oriented. So it takes a lot of discipline to go through all that material and be able to take the test. Then, after you do that, that's just part one. That's just to get your license. Tactical said, Lord, I don't get up this early. Also true normally. But once you do get your license, then you've got to start, working on all the real stuff that you deal with in real estate, because the reality is the real estate exam you take, most of those questions on there, I'd say 75% of them never play out in your life or don't apply to you. So you got to go through and start learning the real stuff about real estate. You got to start, reaching out to people. You got to start making some calls, start doing social media stuff. So it's very, very involved. And if you want to succeed, you have to be super engaged to do it. And so, when she made the decision to do that, we had kind of talked about her, joining the show. And to some extent, she is always part of the show in spirit. But, her commitment to that came first. And so that's why we haven't seen more of her, because she has steadily been working on that. Rich said, and y'all said I was evil for pepper spraying a dog. Patrick out here destroying alarm clocks. That's right, son. That's right. That is evil, Patrick, little doggy. I was like 20, 21 maybe. I mean, look, I needed my sleep. I was kicking it during, other times. And so my sleep was important to me. I had to have it. It was really, really critical to me. The same place I lived there, I have this, if you ever get, look, you probably can't tell, but if you right in front of me, you'd see there's like this little spot that it's almost like a subtle knot right on the front of my forehead. Nobody ever asked me about it, but it is there. And the reason is, in that same apartment, I was trying to do one of those funny dance moves, where people, they'll get down on their back and then they spring up forward. And I couldn't really do it. So I was trying to do it on the mattress to be funny. And when I came up, my head hit the windowsill. And I came up with all the force of my body coming up, bouncing off that bed, and boom, hit that windowsill and gave myself a concussion, truly a concussion. And I looked like a unicorn for I don't know how long. And so, yeah, that's another thing that happened there that was that's a 5-head sign. That's right, Turkey, it is. Yeah, no, if I could air commercials on my forehead while I was doing the show, I would. I have no problem with that. I saw a guy the other day who shaved his head and tattooed hair on it. It's like, it's kind of, I'd tattoo a lot of things on there, but who's going to believe that tattoo is hair? Nobody. It was kind of weird, but hey, to each their own, Let's see what we do have going on here. Okay. Yeah, I did want to get to this. So these are, according to this, the best and worst places to rent in America in 2025. And I'll tell you that the rental market has dramatically changed here and across the country, but certainly in Arkansas, because and anybody who rents homes knows this. Probably 5 to 7 years ago, most everybody who rented a home probably rented from an individual. You found the ad, you called them, you talked to the owner of the house. Maybe they checked credit. Maybe they were more concerned with meeting you and talking to you. You might have a chance to even overcome your credit. If you had bad credit and they liked you and you had a good enough story to tell, you might get the house, right? You might be able to rent it. But now, 90% plus of every home on the rental market is through a property management company. And that makes it very damn difficult for some people to get a good rental. So anyway, back to where I was, which is roughly 46 million American households have opted to rent rather than buy homes. Renting not always cheaper or better by any stretch, but it may be the road you have to take depending on your situation, right? Yeah, Rich said, oh my God, rent's stupid in Arkansas now. It is. It's stupid everywhere. But it's more challenging right now here because of those changes, particularly. Everybody here, for all of our lives, for the most part, we're used to just calling that owner, and talking to them versus, a management company who just wants to check your credit and tell you, no, sorry. And worse than that, these assholes want to charge you an application fee. Screw you, man. You want to charge me $50 to apply for you to maybe tell me no and shit on me? Come on, man. That's low rent. Forgive the pun. Tasha said, I miss those days. My mom's struggling to find an apartment because she's on a fixed income, and even though she can pay bills, she doesn't make enough because they have to make 3 times the rent rule. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. It does not take into account the issues people have. Now, Turkey, he's bringing another side up. He says rent has to be high. Renters tear shit up, and it's expensive to fix. This is in many ways true. And that is part of the reason that when all these property management companies started taking over, a lot of rent homeowners were grateful, because there are times where your renters, look, let's be honest. If you rent a home, chances are, I'm going to go 75-25, that you're not doing fixes around your own house. You know what I mean? You might fix something simple if a piece of trim was coming loose, but you're not really looking out for that house the way you were if you owned it. You're not out working the yard. You're not going to landscape it. You're not going to make sure that you're pressure washing the siding. You're not going to go out and do all the little things that keep a house good. You're not going to make sure the carpet's clean as it can be. Hey, it's not mine, right? And so if you rent homes, when a renter leaves, you almost automatically have to repaint at the very least. You may have to repaint and rip the carpet out and put new carpet in. And that's not cheap, or maybe you're not changing the filters out. And because of that, because if you don't change your filters out, guess what has to happen? Your HVAC, your air conditioner, works 3 times harder to try to pull air through because it's all blocked from the stuff picked up on the filter. And because of that, the HVAC goes out, right? Because you're like, I don't care if I change it. Now I see some of rent homes, they'll just leave you a supply of those air filters in hopes that you'll change them out. Tactical said, I have to make a payment on the house, land, insurance. It's all high. Why would I pay the other half of the payment for you when your ass can't get a loan and just tear up my house? Okay, that's slightly, terse, but to your point, when you've been burnt a few times, probably how it feels. Rich said, I know Tactical, but some landlords throw in that gray fake wood plank flooring, throw a coat of paint on the walls, and think they can jack up the rent to $2,000 a month and require 5 times the income. Yeah, no, that's true. Tasha said, not all renters tear shit up. That is also true. Not all renters tear shit up. Sometimes it's not even about tearing shit up. It's just about, are you taking care of it and maintaining it? And chances are most people don't. She said, I always left my apartments or houses better than I received, puttied holes from pictures and cleaned it. You see, Tasha, that's where me and you differ. I never did that in a rent house. I would clean it before I left. I'm going to vacuum it. I'm going to, take all the trash out and all that. I'm not going through to putty all the holes from the pictures. I'm not going through to repaint. I'm not doing any of that stuff, like I said, I'll clean it. And I've rented, like a carpet cleaning machine before if I felt like I should. But that was the most I was going to do to a rent house, was clean it when I left. Now, in fairness, I didn't break shit. I wasn't one to do that. Most of the homes that I leased for several years when I did, long term, except when I was really young. Brandon said our mortgage is $850 a month. Tasha said those days are gone. No, you can get a home for that price, but it's not going to be an over the top expensive home or anything like that, for sure. Sometimes they say that owning is always cheaper than renting. It's not always the case, but more now, I think, than ever. It's the case, because rent has gone up so much. And even though housing prices, buying a home may be a little bit more than it was, man, oftentimes it's a better investment if you can buy than rent, because at least you can get some deductions out of it. You can make your own decisions about what you want to do with your property. On the flip side, you're also stuck. If something goes out, you can't call anybody to fix it other than the guy you got to pay. Tasha said, always needed that deposit back, but the landlord still screwed me out of it. This is why I didn't putty holes and stuff, because I got screwed out of my deposit a few times, and I went, yeah, I'm never getting it back. I've literally, in my life, never, not one single time, gotten a deposit back. They're not going to give it back to you. That's just the bottom line. You're not getting it back. There may be the rare one that you get back, but most of the time they're not going to give it back, and they're going to tell you it's normal wear and tear. They got to replace carpet, they got to paint, they got to do this, they got to do that. Tasha said, not for me. Seems owning a house has been so stressful. Yeah, no, it can be. And your particular case is a little unique, because maybe somebody didn't look out for you when you were buying that house, to be honest with you. Because just hearing your story, it sounds as if that, maybe some things weren't discovered or known, and you got in there, and after the fact, you found a bunch of stuff out, and that's been really painful. So I get that, or if you're doing renovations, it's very expensive. Tactical said, I charge $1,100 a month. Small house inside of fenced 40 acres. My payment is $1,400. If you want to have a goat or a horse, bring it with you, but I keep crappy people. Rich said, there ain't a single 2-bedroom in the state for $440 a month. Who's talking about $440 a month? Now, if you're renting for $440 a month, I'd be frightened to see what that was. I paid that when I was 18, 19 and had an apartment in Benton. It was like $400 a month. And that was 1990, 1991, somewhere around there. So, yeah, it's way more than that. Tasha said, I've only gotten a deposit back, and that was a private landlord. Yeah. Look, Rich said, how many rooms, Tactical? Rich is, he's like, hey, hold on a minute. Maybe we can work this out. Tasha said, yeah, our realtor wasn't a badass like you. Well, thank you. You're very kind to say that. But it's just about looking out for your buyer as much as you can. Sometimes, look, people know what they're doing when they're buying a house, and they may may buy that house and knowing that they're going to have repairs. Some people look for fixer-uppers. Matter of fact, I've sold some recently where people knew that they're going to move in and they're going to do some renovations, but they're doing it to build up the equity, and they bought the home for less than what they would have otherwise, and they're able to upgrade it themselves and save money. But if you're not a construction person, or you don't have a bunch of friends in construction, that may not be an easy task to do. Anytime you do a renovation on your own, it's always harder than you think. The YouTube videos, you can watch them. Look, people get caught up because they watch these house flip shows. Just because the show is done in an hour doesn't mean your house flip is that easy. I was just having a conversation with someone yesterday about that, and they were talking about getting in it. And I said, well, it depends on your threshold of pain, because when you start doing renovations, you have to have a high threshold for pain, because you may make money, you may not. You may get in there and find out, oh shit, there's a lot more going on under here than I knew. Particularly, you might think, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy one of these houses over in the Heights area. One of these houses that are, built, these Victorian homes that you see that maybe have set up for a while. Well, if they're there and they've set up for a while, there's a reason for that. And 90% of the time, the reason is the foundation's a problem. And sometimes they're unfixable, or it's very difficult to fix them and very expensive. So I've seen people who've, gone out and bought homes to renovate and then went, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do it. There's nothing I can do here. So you have to be super cautious about that kind of stuff. If air conditioning goes out, if you got a bad roof, more than ever right now, if a roof is over 10 years old, you may have trouble getting homeowners insurance on it. That's a fact. That stuff's not cheap. I mean, a roof is anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 depending on the size of your home. Brandon said Haskell is cheap. Yeah, it probably is. It won't be in 10 years, but right now Haskell is still considered the boondocks. Most people, you say Haskell, they're like, I don't know where that is. Maybe they've heard of it, but they don't know where it is. Rich said, I'm in a 3-bed, 2-bath trailer that's pretty beat up, paying $800 a month, and that's crazy to me for what I'm getting, which is really nothing except a roof. Yeah, no, I mean, that, to me, that is, it's less expensive than some things, but that sounds high to me. Little doggy said, what's wrong with your house? I built it on a school bus foundation. Yeah, no, I had, here's a personal story. And this one is, oh man, look, right on time. All right, so hold on. I'll be back in a minute and I'll try to remember that I'm going to tell you a story. Just hang on. At Botanical Alchemy Nutraceuticals, they're a veteran-owned company and they tailor CBD recipes specifically to you. Inflammation, if you need, anxiety relief, if you're trying to focus more, if you're trying to lose weight, they have a formula for you. And you know what? They'll tweak it a little bit here and there if you need to make it perfect for you. It's sublingual. You put it under your tongue, just a drop, and it's instantly effective and 80% absorbed by your body. The other CBD that you get, the gummies, the things like that, 20% absorption, not nearly what you want. And this is pharmaceutical grade. Go over to bantx.com. It's bantx.com and put in the promo code PATP25 to get 25% off. They don't just have CBD. They've got all kinds of products. They've got a lot of different hemp products. They even have CBD for your pets. Check them out. It's bantx.com, baby.
Somebody asked me yesterday what it is that makes us so good. I said it's just simple math. He said, show me if you could. By no means am I a math whiz. Hell, I barely beat Algebra 1. But even I have to admit, somehow this formula is fun. 1 + 1 equals us, the base of the equation, times the square root of trust, minus any temptation. Take your 5 points as a plus, that's prime factorization. And if you find you need to adjust, just add a little flirtation. Never had to geometry a thing, no long division to do. No doubt, baby, the math is mathing when it comes to me and you, me and you. The formula for our love is true. Could be a sold out college class, but instead here's a free pass for you on how to make a good thing last. 1 + 1 equals the base of the equation, times the square root of trust, minus any temptation. Take your 5 points as a plus, that's prime factorization. just simple. Yeah, it's just simple mathematics. 1 plus 1 equals us. The base of the equation. Times the square of trust. Minus any temptation. Take your 5 points as a plus. Plus 1 factorization. And if you find you need to adjust, just add a little flirtation. Just as math, then as we kiss pencils down. Class dismissed.
What is up, Luke Shoemaker? How are you, buddy? What is going on? So, all right, I'm going to tell this story that I started to tell a second ago, and then I've got an interview that Rich reminded me I had that I needed to play. I had forgotten about, and I'm going to put it out there. Rich said, "Perfect timing, Luke. Patrick needs an emotional support horse. He's all by himself." That's right. That's exactly right, bro. So. I don't carry many regrets at all. I'm just not a believer that they do any good for you. But there are a couple of them that I have, and this is one of them. It wasn't due to anything in my control, but it just irks me. So we had been leasing a home for about 5 years. We lived on the river in Sling County, and it was a really nice place, and we tried to buy it from the owner a couple times, and he didn't want to sell it. Matter of fact, he ended up moving back in it, and I don't blame him. It was a great house. So we had located this home in Bauxite, and it was very unique. Number one, it was 30 acres, and 18 of those acres were water. It was a crystal blue blue hole. It was the kind where it's really deep, where it still had the road under the water where the truck would drive around to get to the bottom or to leave, right? So, as a matter of fact, at one point it got audited and had, because they went through all the blue holes and bauxite and would tell you everything that was in it. And there were a couple things in ours at the very bottom. You couldn't even see it. It was so far down. But it was just it had a cliff wall all the way around it. The water, it looked like something that you would see on a screensaver somewhere. Like it was absolutely picturesque, postcard perfect. And so there was a house on the top of the hill, and then on the bottom, when you come down the driveway, there were 3 rental properties they had there. And so we were going to keep one of the rentals and knock 2 of them out, and I was going to put a wedding venue there. And when I tell you, it would have been the most successful wedding venue in Arkansas, I swear to God. The view would have been unbelievable, and everybody would have wanted that as a backdrop. And if you don't know, you can make a lot of damn money with a wedding venue. Go price them and find out. You know, if you have a wedding venue that's only open on weekends and you stay booked, you can make, between $10,000 and $40,000 a month easily. That's not an exaggeration. And so we wanted to buy the house. And so when we talked to the guy, he told us point blank, he said, well, what did he tell us? He said that he didn't know if it could be financed or maybe something or another, but he wasn't explicit in anything about it. He didn't tell us any reason why. He just said, well, I built it myself. I'm not sure. And I said, no, man, it's a nice house. Surely, we can finance it. Well, come to find out, after we went through the process, got an inspection, got the appraiser out, and they shut it down. Denver Hickson just opened a wedding. Really? I wonder how Denver's doing. Must be doing pretty good. They shut down this loan. And I went to 6 different banks to try and get a loan. Why couldn't I get a loan on it? And it was dirt cheap, man. Okay, so you got 3 rentals that are people are living in, and the house at the top of the hill with this amazing lake, 30 acres, and it was $150,000, right? Which is insane. Okay, so I'm like, yeah, no, we're buying this without a doubt. We're going to buy it. We're going to build a wedding venue, and this is going to be amazing. So the reason it didn't work is because when the guy built it, apparently his wife had a fear of tornadoes. Not uncommon, not unreasonable, particularly if you live in Saline County. And so she wanted a tornado shelter. So what did this guy do in his wit and wisdom? He bought himself an old tractor trailer, and he put that about 2 feet in the ground and then built the house on top of that. So when the appraiser came, he said, yeah, this is not a foundation. It's not a suitable foundation for the home. It's not concreted in. There's lots of variables here. And so I tried like hell, man. I even went to the guy. I had a contractor come out, tell me what it would take to pull that thing out. Just fill in that space, make it a room, and extend the foundation there, which would have been, I don't know, 35 grand or so. And I called the guy and I said, look, here's what we're up against, but this guy says he'll do it. And if we can just do this, if you'll just, do this much, I'll pay you for it in the price of the house. So just add the 35, make it 185. As a matter of fact, make it 190, 200, whatever you need to do, and we'll do it. And he didn't want to do that. Now, he later sold it for cash, and I don't blame him. I get it. He didn't want to have to do all that. It was, but that's one of the regrets that I do have, because I think about that all the time. I'm like, man, that was definitely a money-making idea. All right, let's see. I think this is the interview that we need here. Let me double check here and see if this is it. Hold on. I am very excited. I'm sitting here with Kelly Yabsley. Yabsley, did I say that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I almost messed it up. Let me just do it again. I'm sorry. So here we go. Take 2.
All right. Let me make sure that is turned off.
Okay.
Do you know how to do that?
What's that? Oh, you're
Do
good.
you know how to turn off so it's not connected to my computer?
No, you're
I'm
good. You're
so
good, just like
stupid
you are.
at
Just
technology.
you're fine. We'll edit on our side, so you're good.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you can hear me okay though. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really excited here on PATP with Kelly Yabsley. She is the owner of Messy Baby Company, and you were also a contestant on the reality show The Blocks on season 17, which just came out, correct?
Just came out last week.
Yeah, so I know it's been a while since then. When did you guys shoot your season? It's been a year?
Last July.
Yeah, so it's been about
a
a year. Wow. So, what kind of experience was it in general? Did you have a good time doing it, or was it daunting to you, intimidating? What did you think?
I mean, obviously intimidating. First time having cameras in my face, and I feel like I just blacked out in front of them and finding out now what I was saying.
Right, right.
But just the networking, meeting people and those connections was incredible.
Yeah, that to me was the far and away the greatest part of it. Was the networking and the people that I met through that, and continue to meet like yourself. So I'm very excited. Now, you guys ahead of this sent me one of your products. It's Messy Baby, right? And this is the box that it comes in. So we'll just open this up. Now, tell me, first of all, before I show everybody what's in here, tell people how your company came to be.
So when I had my daughter, she was my blowout queen, always covered in her shit, always having to battle her blowouts. And when I couldn't really find anything on the market that actually seemed like it was a solution that would work, I started cutting up onesies and pasting in panty liners and kind of trying to figure out like something that, because right now you take a onesie that's, been soiled, and you're
Yeah.
pulling it up over their head or down their body, and that to me is disgusting.
Right.
I'd rather cut it off of the baby than do that. So my onesie fully snaps down the front, so you can just roll the baby
Well,
out.
let's get it out. So
Okay.
here's what it looks like when you get it, which is really cool. All right. So here's the onesie. And since you're talking about that, I'll hold it up first. And so it fully snaps.
Fully snaps down the front for easy baby removal and cleanup. No more dragging, the shit
Right.
over their head or down their body.
Right.
And then in the other box in there, it's got 20 individually wrapped absorbent pads that
Okay.
adhere in the back. Kind of like a giant panty liner.
Okay.
But it's going to catch the blowout that comes out the back of the diaper.
Okay. And it just hooks right into the
There's a little
onesie.
square in the back that says booty blowout zone, so you just stick it in there. If that baby's
Okay.
butt has some extra power to it,
That
you
is
might
great.
have to double stack the pads.
That is great. So you came up with this idea. How many iterations did you go through before you determined this was the right size pad?
It was really just grabbing all the onesie sizes and kind of measuring to see, what size I needed. Right now, it is just one size fits all. So eventually, I'd like to have larger sizes and even do like adult sizes for gag gifts, or
That would be funny.
maybe the older generation that actually, needs it.
That could be the case as well.
I've heard that from a lot of people.
Yeah. So, how has your business done since you started? I mean, how long have you been in business now?
So I got my product literally the day before I went on the block.
Really?
Like,
So
got
just
my
like
first-
just over a year ago.
Yeah, but kind of worked with it a little bit after the blocks, and then my family and I went on a 3-month vacation,
Oh.
and then the holidays hit when we came back, and I just kind of took a break. So really, I've only been going at it since January.
Okay, so you've really just started the hard push on it this year, and you're
Yeah.
really getting your product out there. Well, that's exciting then. That's super exciting. I have to ask, 3 months of vacation, where the hell did you go?
Oh my God, it was fucking awesome. So we took our kids out of school and did homeschooling, which did not go that great. So hence why we're back. But we did a 10-day Mediterranean cruise, went to Turkey, went to Italy, went to Bali for a month, Laos, and Thailand for a month.
Wow.
It
Those
was
are
awesome.
some pretty exotic areas.
It was
That's
great.
pretty amazing. What was your favorite of all of them?
Oh, that's a hard one. I know my husband and I keep talking about like moving to Bali and just up and leaving.
I understand it's the water. Is that where the water's just amazing there?
Everywhere in Southeast Asia is just
Yeah.
incredible. Crystal clear water, beautiful beaches, everything is affordable. And I mean, my kids had a blast. We were doing
Really?
zip lining and zoos and playing with all the exotic animals. We went hot air ballooning over the mountains in Laos and did whitewater rafting.
And what is that close to? Is it an island?
No, Laos is actually the tiny little country just north of Thailand.
Okay. All right. Well, that's amazing. That sounds like an awesome trip, actually. And I would have never guessed it was affordable to be in Bali. But I guess getting there is the more expensive part, right?
Yeah. Once you're there, if you're not living like a king and queen, even though shit, I mean, I felt like we were, and it was still only $100 a night.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy. $100 a night? That's
for
it?
2-bedroom, private pool, breakfast every morning. It was awesome.
Man, I'm going to have to check into Bali. That may be the hot tip. You should just put a note in all these with a vacation
Go
tip
to
for everybody.
Bali.
Yeah, just
But
a
take your booty blowout gear with you.
yeah.
Say
Your
that.
little vacation tip and take this with you,
Right? Yes, you have to go. The expensive part is getting there, but once you're there, you'll never want to leave.
No, that's awesome. That's a
And you
great
can afford to
action.
stay.
That's a good travel tip, I'll be honest. So how much, if somebody wants to order the initial blowout pack, what does that cost? What does that set them back?
$32.95.
Okay.
So you get the 20 pads and the sorry, you get the 20 pads and the onesie, and then we do sell the pads separately as well. So
Okay,
that
so you
once
can reload.
blow through them. Yeah,
That's
once you blow
great.
through them, you can reload.
Yeah, this is an amazing product, and right now it's one size fits all. Do you have different colors?
Hold on. So it is just in white right
Okay.
now, and I do have newborn through 9 months. The pad is
Newborn
one
through
size
9
fits
months.
all, but
Okay.
the onesie, yeah.
Okay, so where did they go to find this, by the way?
Obviously, my website, messybabyco.com, or is on Amazon, and
Oh, wow.
getting
It's
a
on
couple
Amazon
local
too.
boutiques. It's on Amazon, yeah. But yeah, trying to, just spread it out there.
Well, you never know. There may be, some boutique here who sees this and says, hey, I want to carry this product. They can go to messybabyco.com. Is that right?
Absolutely. Reach out. I would love that. Let's get it on all the shelves.
All right, all right. Well, it is the Messy Baby Booty blowout gear, and that comes with the onesie. Now, the onesie again, it snaps all the way up so that you don't have to pull it over their head or
Yes.
drag it down their leg, and you don't want that on there. And then the pads that go in there
Yeah.
to save your onesies. You know,
Save the clothes, save, the parent being covered in
I know
all the
that's right.
goo.
Oh
And,
God, that's the
when you're
worst.
traveling, God, a blowout can just ruin your day.
It
It just
really can.
sucks.
It does. It does. So this is great. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward. I have not yet had a chance to sit down and watch season 17, but I can't wait to see you in there and see what you did.
I appreciate it. I'm the one on the intro saying I'm about to shit myself. So,
Great. That's awesome. Well, good for you. You got a little time on there. All right. Well, we will talk to you again in the future, I'm sure, when you have new products you're bringing out.
absolutely. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Kelly. All right. And we're back. A couple of things here, real quick. Luke, the world premiere tonight of his new single on SiriusXM Octane, along with the music video that was filmed at the Marathon Music Show, Marathon Music Works in Nashville, being released at the same time. So be sure and check out Octane tonight. This is the song where Luke teams up with, they team up with two other bands. It's a 3-band song, and it's badass. If you like the more metal type rock, it's amazing, and you'll really love it. So be sure and check that out. Number 2, while you were watching that, my life was being changed. Tonight is Big Brother, season 27, tonight. If you haven't watched it, I encourage everybody to watch it this season with me. We'll talk about it on the show throughout the season. To me, Big Brother is the best reality show on television. Now, Survivor's right up there, too. I love Survivor, but Big Brother, to me, is the most difficult reality competition show to win. It is really, really, really hard. Even on Survivor, you're only out there for about 30 days. With Big Brother, you're in the house for 100 days. You have no access to outside news, information, people. You can't have a pen to write shit down. And it's a bunch of psychology, backstabbing, all the things that you love in a reality show. And it's always juicy and good. So check out Big Brother tonight. I know I'll be watching it. It's a 2-hour premiere. It's by far and away the most loved TV show that I have of anything. I absolutely can't get enough of it. So tune in, watch it with me, and we'll enjoy that. Luke said, what did he say here? That he thinks it was coming on at 5 o'clock. Let me look. Luke, what time does it air at 5 p.m.? Is that right? Am I getting that right? I don't know what's going on here. I think Mike must be trolling somebody. He just asked Rich how he felt about Chris Jericho being the best wrestler in history. The lead singer of Fozzy? The best wrestler in history? Yeah, no, sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. He's well known. He's a great wrestler. What do you have? The Wall of Jericho? Is that what it was called? But no, he's not in the argument for the top 10 best wrestlers of all time, in my opinion. I don't know about anyone else, but I would say no. All right, let's move on here and see. I had something else here that I wanted to get out to you about. So apparently, you got to watch out for these scammers, and they're always trying to do something new to get your money, get your information. You have to be more vigilant than ever. As job seekers look for work increasing numbers were falling victim to job scams that promise good pay for completing easy online tasks. The scams start innocently enough, a tailor-made text or a WhatsApp message. The scammers take time to build trust with victims before they cash in on the relationship. Most of the people who end up losing money to a scammer are behaving pretty rationally. That's Katie Daffin. She's assistant director of the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. She is in the marketing practices group. Said scammers are sophisticated. They keep changing their tactics. Losses to job scams increased 3 times from 2020 to 2023. The first half of 2024, they topped $220 million. So about 20,000 people reported gamified scams in the first part of 2024 compared to 5,000 in all of 2023. Said the number is certainly an underestimate because a lot of people don't even report it. And that's probably true. Little Doggy said, you can tell Patrick hates wrestling. You know better than that, man. Cut that out. Said that only 5% of people complain. So here's how the scams work. Typically, it begins with a text or a WhatsApp message from a, quote, recruiter offering online work. The texter will say you can make good money by product boosting or doing optimization tasks for an online platform or in an app. So that might involve liking videos or rating product images, right? The job promises you earn money from commissions per click. So once you complete the task, you'll see an increasing tally of earnings on the platform or in the app. These earnings are fake. They're not real. Eventually, the platform will ask you to deposit your own money, typically in crypto, to complete more tasks and withdraw your non-existent earnings. But if you do make the deposit, you're going to lose your real money and never get the other money. The Identity Theft Resource Center said these type of scammers typically prey on job seekers who are new to the job market, people who've been out for some time, and people like immigrants who are less familiar with the employment landscape, or maybe they face language barriers. Said often the job will have an easy interview or no interview, promise to let you work from home and let you start right away. Now, it used to be, let me pause here. Used to be that all the at-home jobs that they advertised were scams. That's no longer the case. There are a lot of people now who work from home. Rich is one of those people. For 3 years, Laura did that. She did customer service sitting in our office at home. And so there are a lot of legitimate, good work-from-home jobs where you can make a good hourly plus get benefits as well. There's some really solid ones out there. What's up, Jay Sorsby? So you can now make money at home, but there are still a lot of scams too. So they said sometimes the ask is to leave phony reviews for products. The scammers are probably selling those reviews illegally, but a job seeker might look at a line and say, I'll do that. I got to eat. Yeah. But the kicker here, and this is the key with any scam, okay, which is if they ask you to pay something or deposit money, it's a scam. There's no job that you should pay any money to obtain unless it's a blank job. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That was pretty good, really. All right, so let's go from your job to not your job to maybe retiring, or what Gen Z calls micro retirement. That's right. Have you heard about this micro retirement? It's a thing, apparently, at least according to this article, which comes from fastcompany.com. The thought of one day retiring and no longer having to punch a clock, answer emails, work long hours, other responsibilities of employment is a dream you can get, or that can get you through the hard moments of work, right? While retirement typically occurs after you complete a career and you've saved and invested to retire, some Gen Z workers are taking unpaid leave when they have an accrued vacation time, and they call it micro retirement. Micro retirement. That's a rebranding if I ever heard one. Gen Z uses micro retirement to find greater fulfillment and avoid burnout and enhance their overall well-being. No. It says, however, it's not just Gen Z. 10% of workers are considering, taking a micro retirement. I assume, again, 10% of people are considering anything. 10% is always the number of crazies in society. 10% of people will believe anything, vote for anything, do anything. 10% of people are just batshit crazy. So anytime you see 10%, you have to somewhat parse that and go, well, 10% could be the crazies. And I know that's not the right term to use, is it? I don't really give a shit, but it's not. So it's not just Gen Z. 10% are considering taking a micro retirement, and 70% thought employers should offer unpaid sabbaticals. Sure, who wouldn't want their employer to offer unpaid sabbaticals? You know what? I don't have any paid time off. I don't even have vacation time, but I don't want to work for a month. So I still have my job when I come back, right? Boss? Come on, man. Are you serious right now? That's what you want? You want the job to just give you extra time off because why? Emotional support or it's a mental health month? I mean, why? However, taking micro retirement may have long-term impacts on your finances and career advancement. No shit. You mean if you don't come to work and you don't have PTO, you don't have vacation, you just decide, yeah, boss, I'm going to take a month off because, that maybe that could be a problem for your finances and your job? No shit. Welcome to the real world. The idea is to take frequent and longer breaks from work during your career. These breaks, not the standard PTO, they're intentional unpaid time to rest and recharge. So it says micro retirements, a stupid ass name. You wank-eyed, slack-jawed, non-working mother scratchers, what are you thinking? Get your ass to work. Do your damn job. For God's sake, man. Enough people not doing their job. Micro retirements can look like, number one, quitting a job, then finding a new job when you're ready to work again. I thought that was unemployed. Isn't that just called unemployed? I quit my job. I don't have another job yet. It's not a micro retirement. You're unemployed, bitch. I mean, come on. You know what's going on. You're looking for a job. Maybe you're not, but you're not in a micro retirement, just unemployed. Probably getting unemployment, to be honest. That's probably why you're taking the break. You're getting the unemployment pay. You're like, screw it. Yeah, I'll do that. Number two, setting up a plan with your employer that allows you to take unpaid frequent work breaks. Do you have an employer that would allow you to take frequent unpaid work breaks? Really? I'd like to know about that at a real job, not some bullshit job. I mean, yeah, you might have, the lowest level construction job where they keep letting you come back for a while, just because they need somebody, anybody. But come on, man. Number three, taking breaks from your business if you're a business owner. If you're taking breaks from your business and you're a business owner and you're not ultra successful, you're not taking a break, you're failing. Now, if you've made enough money to, quote, take a break from your business, yeah, I know entrepreneurs that do that. I mean, as a real estate agent, if I want to take a week off, I take a week off. I don't ask anybody. I don't report to anybody. This is my independent business. So yeah, I could take a week or 2 weeks off, and I've done that. But you know what happens when you get back? You got to bust your ass because now you're behind the curve on the money you're expecting to get if you're not ahead of the game at that point when you do it. Joshua Charles is a Gen Z business owner. His consultancy helps investors, pension funds, insurance companies invest in projects in Africa. So he takes work breaks every 6 months for a couple weeks at a time. Okay, again, that's not a micro retirement. If every 6 months you take 2 weeks, that's called vacation, bitch. Stop calling it some bullshit. It's not a really a micro retirement. It's dumb. It's my IQ is dropping as I read this story to you. I'm going to be honest with you. Charles considers his micro retirement a full-time break. He doesn't work. Any crisis or issue has to wait until he's back. He notes the breaks have been helpful for his mental health. He says there's been no negative impact on his business or career because he communicates with his clients. Well, you don't say. You're an entrepreneur. You own the business. Yeah, you take time off when you want to take time off. Now, if you're really a busy entrepreneur, that's more difficult than it seems at times. Because trust me, if you're a real estate agent and you got people, in process of buying a home, you got to be there for them. You got to be there for them. End of story. You can't just go, hey, I'm going to be gone for a couple weeks, so good luck. Hope everything works out on your appraisal and you get to close on your house. Yeah, maybe I'll be back. I don't know. I'm on micro retirement, bitch. What do you want from me? Okay? I just want my commission. Can you just pay it to me now? Come on, man. It says the pros and cons here of micro retirement. The article gives you pros and cons because you need those. If you don't instinctually understand already. It says micro retirement may sound appealing if you haven't been given enough vacation days to relax, but with the cost of living in the U.S. rising, a growing unemployment rate due to layoffs, Gen Z struggle with debt and uncertainty, micro retirement comes with pros and cons. It does give you an opportunity to recharge, taking time to focus on what brings you happiness, avoid burnout, realign your personal goals. Well, you'll need to realign them because you're not showing your ass up for work. However, it says stepping away from work without pay can impact someone's financial future. You don't can say so. Do you understand who this article's written for? Do you understand the level of gooberness that you have to possess to be educated by this article right now? If you're over 20 and you don't already know this, please come up here so I can slap the piss out of you because you're not paying attention to life. Stepping away from work without pay can impact someone's financial future. Taking time away from work can affect your earnings, investments, and funding your retirement, particularly if your company offers a match. Having a plan in place is important. You don't say. If you're taking a micro retirement with no game plan, that can be detrimental to your long-term retirement strategy. Yes, if you're just taking time off from work that's unpaid, no vacation time, no PTO, it is going to affect your finances, probably because you're going to get fired eventually. Meanwhile, it says taking frequent breaks can impact career growth. Kenyatta Nesbitt Simmons, she's a partner at HR firm Simmons HR and Talent Advisory, says it can be difficult to rejoin the job market. Yeah, when they find out that your other job said, yeah, he was on micro retirement every 2 months. What does that mean? He didn't show his ass up because he needed a mental health break. Come on, man. Yeah, it's going to affect you getting another job. Oh, you're going to give me a good review, right, man? I know I'm getting fired because I don't show up sometimes, but you'll give me a good review, right? No, you're not getting a good review. What are you talking about? But I was a good employee. No, you weren't. You kept taking time off. Somebody's got to cover your shit when you're gone, man. Those McDoubles don't serve themselves, bro. Somebody got to cover the shift. It says it can be difficult to rejoin the job market. Some Gen Zers are forced to pivot into other career fields due to the competitiveness of the field they left to take a micro retirement. That's right. Somebody is waiting for you to take a micro retirement so they can slide into that spot and go, look, I don't micro retire. I'm here all the time, boss. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Yeah. This is silly. This is not grown people shit. And every one of you listening right now are grown people. And you're like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. It is. There's no such thing as micro retirement. That's not a thing. If you're rich, that's a thing. I don't mean Rich Rockwell. Could be. But I mean, if you're wealthy, yes, micro retirement or whatever you want to do because you got the money to do it. Matt Wildside, he probably takes micro retirement because he's rich. He owns a lot of theaters. He has a Lambo. He's got Ferrari. He takes 2 weeks whenever the hell he wants to take 2 weeks because he's got a fat ass bank account and a bunch of shit. Okay, he's good. Me, micro retirement, are you kidding me? You mean the week I take off and I got to come back and double my work output the next week to catch up? Yeah, that's real life. Now, am I mad at somebody who can take off because they're wealthy? Hell no, I'm not mad at them. Good for Matt Wildside. Shit, I hope one day I can be that guy. Hell, I'd take one of those cars. I tried to get the Lambo from him the other day. When he said the Lambo was kind of junk compared to the Ferrari, I told him he didn't need that junk in his house. It was a bad look for him. Give it to me. I would take care of it. He did not see it that way, just so you know. I wanted him to see it that way. I still do. Matt, if you're watching right now, you know you don't like that Lambo. You think it's trash, bro. Just give it to me. Let me have that, man. Why don't you micro retire your Lambo to me? All right. I'll give it back at some point whenever you're ready. But let me just hold on to it for a while. Just, I just want to use it as my daily driver. You see what I'm saying? That's all. That's all we want. Just let me have it as a daily driver. Is that too much to ask? You're not using it that often. How often do you drive it? A couple times a year, maybe? Come on, man. It's just sitting there, gathering dust. Your buddy Patrick, he'd drive it every day. I'll show houses in that bitch. You think I won't pull up in a Lambo to sell you a $200,000 house? Yeah. I'll sell you a shack in my Lambo. Let me drive that every day. I don't know what a V12, what the gas prices are. And you'll have to keep insurance on it for me, Matt. I probably can't afford that. So you keep the insurance on it. I'll pick up the gas. What do you say? Is that fair enough? Think? No? Probably not. Probably not. All right, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm proud of myself today because this is going to sound stupid. I almost micro-retired today. And by that, I mean, almost didn't do the show this morning because I knew I didn't have anybody here. But I said, you know what? Let me go in and suck it up and get this thing done, man. And so we made it. We made it here. And here is the finish line today because for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to micro-retire. All right? You follow me? So first of all, thank you to everybody. You guys in the comment section, all you guys, I love you so much. And it's so awesome to have you guys help carry it through when I didn't have just some folks in here. And again, that's why it's Patrick and the people, because the people matter. Am I ignoring you, Brandon? Hold on. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to end the show, but hold on. Let me see. What am I ignoring, buddy? Hold on. Let me go back. Bing, 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 bing. Hold on, everybody. I'm looking back. I'm looking back. Okay. Patrick, how can we get a ramp built? Marla said it's not safe. A ramp built for your house, you mean? Is that what you're talking about? At your house? Well, I think Tom had said he was looking at something, but actually, let me reach out. I know that we can definitely get a discount on one, but maybe we can find a contractor or somebody out here who wouldn't mind helping put a handicap ramp together for you at your house. Who out here does construction and might be able to help Brandon with a handicap ramp? He's in a wheelchair, if you don't know. And so, right now he doesn't have that. And I think they've got stairs too. Matter of fact, I know they do. So that makes it a real challenge for him. Tactical said Tom will build it if we can get the materials. Thank you. Good show, Pete. Bundy said, hey, I appreciate that. Okay. So Tom will build it. We just need materials. Who can help with materials for Brandon's handicap ramp? Is anybody out there able to do that? If you are, message myself, message Brandon, message Rich, message Gunner, and let us know that you can help with the materials. And Tom has agreed that he'll take care of the ramp. So we just need either a group of us to chip in on materials, and I would do that, or maybe we could get lucky and somebody out there knows somebody who might be able to help out with this situation. So Brandon, if you don't know, is our camera guy, a producer, video content provider for us. He gets all our content up, things like that. So it would be great if we could help him out. Now, if we need to start some kind of crowdfund, we can do that. But I don't think this is such a big one that we might not be able to take care of it just amongst ourselves figuring it out. So if you know somebody who might be able to help, maybe you know a contractor who has extra materials left over from jobs or something. It's not uncommon to have. And we'll definitely be looking for some messages. So Brandon, let's work on that. Remind me again tomorrow. We'll talk about it again on tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's show, we've got 2 comedians from the Looney Bin coming in. So that's going to be great. We'll have some other folks in the studio. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So be sure and tune in tomorrow. And let's work on figuring out how to get these materials to get this handicap ramp built for Brandon. Until tomorrow, late.